Germany built the most advanced tanks in World War II. Most of them failed. Not from enemy fire, from their own engineering. These are all the German tanks that failed in World War II. Panzer I, armed for training, sent to war. The Panzer I was never meant to fight tanks. Armed with only two 7.92mm machine guns, it faced Polish anti-tank rifles that punched through its 13mm armor like paper. Germany forced training vehicles into real combat. The failure was inevitable. Panzer II, the stopgap that lasted too long. Designed as a temporary placeholder, the Panzer II stayed in frontline service for 4 years. Its 20mm autocannon could threaten light vehicles. Against real tanks, crews died learning that speed could not replace armor. The stopgap became a death trap. Panzer 35T. Czech quality meets Russian winter. Czechoslovakia built reliable tanks. Germany inherited them and sent them to Russia. The pneumatic transmission froze solid at -40 degrees. Entire units sat immobilized while T-34s advanced. Reliability meant nothing in conditions the designers never imagined. Panzer 38T. Success abandoned for failure. The Panzer 38T actually worked. Reliable, effective, well-engineered. So Germany stopped using it as a tank. Instead, they converted the chassis into tank destroyers and assault guns while building Panthers that broke down after 150 kilometers. They abandoned what worked to chase what failed. Light tanks failed their roles. Medium tanks would fail worse, against enemies Germany never predicted. Panzer III early variants, designed for the wrong enemy. The Panzer III with its 37mm gun was perfect for destroying French tanks. It met the T-34 in 1941. Shells bounced off Soviet sloped armor. German crews watched their rounds ricochet, while 76mm shells turned Panzer IIIs into burning coffins. Designed for one war, forced into another. Panzer III late variants, upgraded too late. By the time 50mm guns arrived, the T-34 had already proven superior. The long 50mm could finally penetrate Soviet armor. But T-34 production was already unstoppable. Germany upgraded individual tanks. The Soviets were mass-producing armies. Panzer IV early variants, the wrong gun for the wrong war. Built for infantry support with a short 75mm howitzer, early Panzer IVs faced tank battles they could not win. The low-velocity gun was perfect for bunkers. Useless against armor. Germany sent infantry support weapons to fight tanks. The crews paid the price. Panther OSF D, perfection that destroyed itself. Germany finally built the perfect answer to the T-34. Sloped armor, high-velocity 75mm gun, excellent mobility. Kursk, July 1943, 200 Panthers deployed. Within 48 hours, 160 broke down from mechanical failures. Transmissions shattered. Final drives disintegrated. Engines caught fire. The perfect tank could not reach the battle. Panther OSF A and G, fixing problems while losing the war. Later Panthers fixed the transmission disasters. But the interleaved wheels still froze solid every winter night. Final drives still lasted only 150 kilometers before catastrophic failure. Germany spent years perfecting a tank while the war was already lost. Medium tanks failed through timing. Heavy tanks would fail through ambition itself. Tiger I, tactical dominance, strategic disaster. The Tiger I could destroy any Allied tank at 2,000 meters. Its 88mm gun was legendary. 100mm of frontal armor made it nearly invincible, but it consumed 450 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers. Final drives lasted 100 kilometers before breakdown. It required 2 hours of warm-up in cold weather before it could move. Tactically unstoppable. Strategically useless. Tiger II Porsche turret, killed by its own design. The first 50 King Tigers mounted Porsche's curved turret. Engineers designed it for maximum armor protection. They created a shot trap. Incoming rounds deflected downward into the thin roof armor, killing crews instantly. 50 crews died before Germany fixed the flaw. German engineering killed its own soldiers. Tiger II Henschel turret, perfection too heavy to use. The corrected King Tiger was the most powerful tank of the war. 70 tons of sloped armor and a long 88mm gun. Invincible from the front. It could not cross bridges. Final drives lasted 50 to 80 kilometers. Most were abandoned intact when they broke down during retreat. The best tank in the world failed because it was too good. Ferdinand Elephant, armored coffin. 200 millimeters of frontal armor made it immune to Allied guns. An 88 millimeters gun made it a deadly tank killer. No machine gun for close defense. Soviet infantry walked up to immobilized Ferdinands and dropped grenades through hatches. At Kursk, 39 of 90 Ferdinands were lost to infantry with grenades. Not tanks. Infantry. The most heavily armored vehicle in the war died to the cheapest weapons. Heavy tanks failed through weight. Specialized vehicles failed through desperation. Mouse. 188 tons of impossibility. The heaviest tank ever built weighed 188 tons. It could not cross any bridge in Europe. It required a snorkel system to cross rivers underwater. 2 prototypes were completed. Neither fired a shot in combat. Both were captured or destroyed before deployment. Germany built an impossible tank for a war it had already lost. Stone Tiger, psychological weapon, tactical uselessness. Mounting a 380 mm rocket mortar on a Tiger chassis created a weapon that could destroy entire buildings. It carried only 14 rounds. Reload time was measured in minutes. 18 were built. Its psychological impact was enormous. Its battlefield contribution was negligible. Terror without effectiveness is just noise. Tiger never reached the battle. The 128 mm gun could destroy anything at 3,500 meters. At 71 tons, it was the heaviest tank destroyer ever deployed. Only 79 were built. Most broke down during transit to the front. March 1945, American forces found dozens of intact Tigers abandoned on German roads. Empty fuel tanks. Broken final drives. The ultimate weapon defeated by logistics before firing a shot. E-100, the dream that ended. Designed as a more practical super heavy tank than the Mouse, the E-100 never made it past an incomplete hull. The war ended before Germany's super heavy dreams could continue. An unfinished hull captured by the Allies proved ambition had outlasted reality. Desperation vehicles failed before deployment. But the biggest failure was what Germany built in numbers. Stu-G3, the accidental success that proved the failure. Germany's most successful armored vehicle was not a tank. The Stu-G3 destroyed more Allied tanks than Tigers, Panthers, and King Tigers combined. Over 10,000 were built. It became the backbone of German armored forces. It succeeded because it violated every principle of German tank design. No turret, no complex engineering, no expensive manufacturing. Simple, cheap, mass-producible. The Stu-G3 proved that Germany's entire tank philosophy was wrong. They spent the war building complex failures while the simple design won battles. Success came from abandoning the doctrine. The doctrine itself was the failure. These were every German tank that failed in World War II. Which failure was the worst? Let me know in the comments.